Hello and welcome to Flooring Models Kit View Time. Today we've got Ryfield Models brand new 1/35th scale Challenger 2 test kit. We've also got the upgraded aftermarket bit which we'll look after we've had a look at the main kit. So as we can see, we have been waiting for an up-to-date version of this kit for quite a while now. We have got versions out there, don't get me wrong, but they're all showing a little bit of age because of the different versions out there. So this is the Megatron version, as they call it, which is the brand new up-to-date version of the Challenger 2. You can see nice box art on the front, and then if we whip round on the outside, here we go, we can see some of the highlights in the kit, as you can see, with the actual, looks like torsion bar suspension system, which looks like it's activated. Obviously the armour, we've got the reactive type armour, and then obviously the bar armour on the rear as well. Okay, walking around down here, kit number for this one is 5039, and a few more in green. There you go, nice and easy with these particular kits. First thing that strikes you, this kit is really very, very heavy. I must admit, it's quite a heavy box just as it is. And then in the box, as we can see, if I can get this to stand up, it is. Okay, we've got a correction sheet straight off the bat. Always handy. Obviously it's just a call out saying for 3.7 instead of 3.6. That's fair enough, that's straightforward. And we've got a couple more here, looks like photo etch parts as well. And we've got this one down in here which looks like a bag. This side down, obviously it's been printed up the wrong way, but it's nice to see it greets you straight in the front of the box. As always, I haven't looked in here before, so I don't know really what we've got, but we've got obviously a baggie with a few bits and pieces, fair enough. We've got the upper hull, okay. We've got tracks, lots and lots of tracks, okay, as you know, it's all my sort of nemesis with these things. We've got the turret itself up there like that, which is fair enough, and then down in here we've got bags, we've got armour, we've got the actual bar, armour around the rear, okay, we've got the hull, lower parts of the hull, which is fair enough, and as you can see it's literally sprue after double sprue, so we've got wheels and things down in there. We've actually got part of the lower hull, and eventually, and then we get another one of these. So we've got two, just in case you didn't see it the first time. You've got another one down in there, and in here, after you get to the bottom, we have got, again, this is really thick, a nice little instruction book down in there. Okay, I think we're just going to make the camera a little bit wider. Sorry, just because I'm not going to get all that in. Okay, so there we go. So instruction-wise, Ryfield's normal way of doing it, as we can see, it's stuck to the mat. There we go. So we've got obviously all the part call-outs right the way through, as I say, the various bits down in there like that. Okay, so we've got a system in here where obviously we've got to make the actual lower hull. So we've got a bar through the middle, which we assume is for the torsion bar suspension system to go into on both sides. And we've got to open up 1.1 mil holes. That's very precise, isn't it? Okay, down in there, and then obviously bringing the whole section together straight into the rear plate with all the various bits and pieces going on there, as you can imagine, just like that. So that's all those being fitted in. Okay, so all of those parts being fitted into the rear parts. We've got the photo etch, which is making up these basket holders as well. We've got the fuel cans and the water cans in the rear. This torsion bar suspension system, you can see being fitted and placed in. Sorry, that's not, it's glare, I've got glare on mine. That's the actual upper holes holding in these side skirts and things like that going in there. Okay, and then we can then go in. Oh, it was the torsion bar suspension. That's not. Is that pointing out how that goes? That's those being fitted in. There we go. That's the torsion bar suspension system being put in. Just a little bit finding your way around on those ones. Road wheels all being fitted in, polycapped as well, so that's quite handy, so they'll pull on and off as most of them do these days. And then some more parts being added down in there. We've got the drive sprocket being down in there and the tracks. So what we got, 87 tracks on each side. So you've got obviously a area down in here, so you're going to be putting down the back, the bottom part, which will be your trackpad side. Then you're going to be going in with the bar ones and then the ones on top. At least it hasn't got the guides that are separate, because that really would be tedious to do all of that. So it is basically a working track system, which is quite nice. Then you're working into the actual top part of the hull system. So those being fitted in there and there. And then we've got all the various lumps, bumps and accessories being fitted to the front part being put on, and that completes your lower hull down in here. Side armour system being fitted down in there. Does it have Chobham still, or have they upgraded it to another village? having driving through Chobham quite a lot. But there we go. So that's the armour system being fitted onto the side. Okay, being fitted down into that one, and we've got the bar armour being fitted round to the back as well. Okay, and then as you imagine, lots of various parts with modern tanks all being fitted down onto the top. So we've got the toolboxes, we've got photo etch as well, which is a nice mix being fitted into these ones. That's what they are. They're windscreen wipers in photo etch. Obviously it showed them round the wrong way, so there you go, that's those being fitted down onto this one. Then we've got these areas down the front being fitted, then up on the turret open up various holes for the various parts going to be fitted onto that one. So working on the upper turret, building that. We've got the gun system being fitted down into this one. We've got the gun fitted on the top, and obviously this is one of these modern guns with the actual sighting system put on that one for being automatic fired. So that's all of those parts being fitted on there. Various communications, arrays, aerials, things like that going to be going on here as well. All the self-protection system being fitted onto this one, and all being going on the top of the turret. Hatches and that, really nice posable, open or close, although you've got no internal detail to this one. Obviously you can then fit your crew into there. Armour system being fitted onto this one again, so the reactive onto the actual sides, and then the rear we've got the bar armour being fitted in there, and then all the various parts. Main gun being fitted, again showing the up and down, which we have the correction. So as it's saying up, you would probably think that's down because it's got a sag, so not exactly rocket science for that one, but there's that one being fitted down into there. And then obviously the final parts being fitted in. We've got a couple more bits of photo etch being fitted down on the sides. Okay, and that completes your build. As it speaks about down in here, which we have got, which I've now just buried, this is an optional extra, and this is what we've got. We'll have a look at that after the end of the review. All right, we'll do the main kit first. Okay, green, easy. Okay, and some of the other bits and pieces that they do. Have to say it does look very, very nice right off of the bat. So where are we actually going to start in here? So if we have I think it's going to be one of those, we'll just work our way through. Get in the bags. Okay, I'll stick the bags over there. I'll just change my angle. Okay, so again, this is where Ryfield really do a very nice job. You can probably see there the details in these parts. Okay, and that's the nice thing. It's basically got the detail right the way around all of these because it has been injection molded that way. You can see very, very nice job on there. Exactly the same on the other side. We have got some ejector marks down in there, but we're not worried about those, so that's very nice indeed. Lower part of the hull, I don't think there's a lot of point getting this out because you can just see it literally like this. Okay, so that's literally just what that is. Okay, upper hull section. Yes. Okay, again, it just shows the difference really as it comes along now. There being a modern kit, it's got that very sharp detail look to it all, as you can probably see it right the way around. All of these looking very, very nice indeed. Okay, as I said, there's nothing on the inside, but say inside of the hatch, as you can see there, you have got the detail. But again, it has that real crisp, sharp look to it, especially down the rear end with its grills. You know, with the louvers down the back here and the hatches. Again, I think it's just that quality of a modern kit versus the old one. Nothing wrong with the old ones, but this is definitely the next stage. Okay, so down in here we have, if we can get in these bags, which are pretty stuck down very, very well. Okay, so again, multiple parts now. I don't know what the part count is, but it's pretty high, I would have thought. Okay, so again, looking around it, there's no real flash. It's got that nice even thing here on sprue A. Okay, so if we probably go around this way, you can probably see all the parts. You can see very nicely done indeed, clean, crisp, sharp. Can't see anything. The gun is in multiple parts. It would have been nice if it was in one, but there we go. Again, the toolboxes, the fuel cans, just with obviously with these, with obviously the watermarks on them and stuff like that. It's clean and crisply molded onto it as well. Again, looks very, very nice indeed. And on the blind side, you can see all these holes are opening up, loads and loads of them down in there, but all good, clean, crisp. So there's no flash at all that I can see on this. There's a little bit of burring, and when we say by burring we mean the sandwich effect between the both, but it's not on the parts, it's on the sprues, you can feel it, but it's not actually on any of the parts that we can see, so that's very nice indeed. Okay, we'll try and do this some semblance of order. So the hull, sorry, that's the hull, this is the upper turret. Again, I think you can't work out if it's just because it looks really, really nice or it's quite muted with the moulding. But the moulding, because it's in this sort of grey, it's got that real solid CAD look to it, even in the plastic. But you can probably see there some really, really nice moulding jobs down in there. That is absolutely beautifully done. Some nice casting texture. And again, it's got like an anti-slip on here. It's not thick. Overdone, but it's very nice. So obviously we've got the serials down on the front here. Again, really, really nice. And again, bottom detail literally still down in here on the bottom of the turret that you're never going to see, but you have got the little vents, the bolt detail, things like that. Very nicely done. And then here will be this way, be the rear plate on the back of the lower hull. Again, consider it's going to be covered up completely with all the stowage items. It's very, very nicely done indeed. Okay, so we've got, to be honest, I don't think we need to get this one out of the bag. You can see it just as well here. So we've got the reactive armour on the side, looking very nice indeed. All the various parts, as you can see, that standard Chally side. Really very, very clean. I suppose that's the thing with rifles, you describe them. The ejector pins are always out of the way, they're always very shallow as well, but it has that, I don't know if it's just the colour of the plastic or if it's just the general of the build of them, they just have that sharp look to them always. Okay, so down in here, bags of fun for everyone, all the small little bits. So as you can see, we've got a dual pair for these two. And again for sprue F, really nice. So obviously we got a lot of the duplicate stuff down in here. So we got fuel cans, things like that, the wheels, torsion bars on all the little cleats and the little bits. But as you can see probably on those wheels, really very sharp. We've got the idler and the drive sprocket, really nice. The fuel tanks, obviously really classic design. Okay, with Challengers and things, they're having those at the back. Torsion bar suspension, a little bit of flash on that. A bit splashed. There's a little bit of burring. We're saying this sprue's got a little bit of burring, but you're not going to see the torsion bar suspension, so I wouldn't worry about it. But there is tiny little bits of flash just around on some bits. Okay, so return wheels, and then obviously all your various cleats and your various small little parts. The handles nicely done down in here, clean, sharp, very crisp moulding with all the smaller parts as well. So generally very, very nice with all of those. You have got ejector tabs on the backs of everything, as you can see down in here, so you have to clean those up. Okay, we've got this sprue down in here in sprue E, which looks pretty good. Okay, so sprue E, we can see down in here, looks very nice indeed. And then looking around some of these parts, we've got some wiring detail being put into these, and again we've got stowage and various items on these and some of the small tools, the gun. Okay, and the other parts all across the top, all looking very, very nice. And again, the ejector pins that are on these are very, very shallow. But again, you're not going to see any of those because they are nicely tucked out of the way. Okay, the bar armour, which we've got down in here as well. If you wanted to, you could use this one. So it's quite interesting to look at this. So over here on sprue D, we've got this sort of, you know, the bar armour on this one. And actually that looks pretty nice. It's very, very thinly moulded. You could probably get away with that. We have got this photo etch option, which we'll look at after we've done this bit. But again, keep that in mind because we'll do a comparison between the two. That doesn't look too bad at all. We've got no flash or anything between all of those. That's beautifully done. Very, very nicely moulded in all of those. And then last up, which we don't really need to get out, we've got this. So down in here, you've actually got your jig for making them. So you're going to be placing all of these in, then you're going to be placing all of these in, and then sandwiching it, which, you know, isn't so much of a problem. It is all grooved and ready for it and to be put in there. Again, I suppose if you're an armour guy, you expect this. Like an aircraft guy, you expect to be getting the filler out and doing seam lines and blending things. So to me, it always seems to be like, "Argh." But by the time you've done that, it's probably no different from doing aftermarket tracks and having to clean them up and all the various things that go through with that one. Okay, last up we got another little bag down here, which I can find a way in. Which I can't, because I can. There we go. So in here we've got this nice little bag down in here with a lovely bit of photo etch. Really very nicely done as well. Okay, so you've got one sheet of photo etch down in there for some of the areas. We've got the clear parts, which is obviously just for your periscopes and your various things and your lights and sensors. Okay, polycaps, because obviously we saw like they're a bit flashy, they might need a bit of cleanup. They're not the cleanest I've ever seen. We've got this. Which is that rubbery stuff, so it's for the ammo feed belt and that, so yeah. And we've got Megatron decals, okay, which you've got the Megatron sign, which is quite cool. And then we've got a little bit of thread for a towing cable, so yeah, I like it. You know, it's always that thing, it's always big boots to fill when you're doing a Challenger. You know, obviously in the US, you guys have the Abrams, it's your thing, this is ours. So to somebody to do a kit of it, it's got to be right, because let's face it, the rivet counters will be all over this completely. It looks good to me. I'm by no means an armour expert, as all you guys know, but literally that looks to be very, very nicely done. And a worthy successor to the ones which are out there. Obviously, you know, we've all seen the Trumpeter one, Tamiya we always think of, but now this is the bang up to date with all the sensors and the various bits and pieces onto it. So I think that is really, really nice. Doesn't stop there, because we have got this. Now this is the aftermarket set for it, which is going to give you, as we saw before, some nice bits of photo etch down in here. So in here we have, I was wondering why it's in a big box, but that explains it. You've got a manual, you've got then, how many sheets have we got? We've actually got 2 big sheets of photo etch. Okay. Okay, so that's sprue. I've just realised what this is. Okay, so that's one, and there's the other one. Okay, you then get this, which, if you haven't guessed it yet, you've got to build the armour. Jesus, my lord. Okay, oh, there's another sprue. Okay, so you get 3. Okay. And then we get, is this a correction? It is, it's a correction sheet, isn't it? Okay, so there's a small correction sheet as well, which looks like that. But if you haven't guessed it already, I don't know who does their folding, but you know, this is what we've got. Okay, so step 2. Where's step 1 then? Right, okay, so, well, I see what they've done. Somebody hasn't folded it, I don't think, around the right way. Okay, so this is actually how it works. If you do it on the close-up, you can see you've got to build your own bars. Okay, so there we go. That's the thing with this one, to ending up with something like this, which, okay, is great in scale, and I get the theory to it. That's the other side. Okay, and then you're going to be going around here, making up these. So because they're louvered, you've got to slightly bend them at a slight angle, I think, on those ones, and there's the others going down and in. It's like a nightmare all of its own, and if you're like me and don't like doing tracks, yeah, you're never going to be coming near this. Okay, so yes, this is how it's all going to go together. Okay, and then you've got some other bits as well. It's not just for that, there is some other little further attachment points and the various things going onto it as well to look out for. Fun for the whole family. Jesus. Right, okay. So really you're going to be weighing up the pros and cons then, for a lot of people who are saying, what's the difference? So this is this. This is this. So honestly, I think these are be pretty much adequate unless you're a rivet counter and you want to get the correct thickness, because obviously this is photo etch thickness compared to these, but looking straight down, that's the thickness you've got versus the photo etch, which is probably twice as thick, but with limitations of ejection molding, that's what you're going to end up with. Does it look out of scale? I don't think so. I think that looks quite nice really, and I think you could probably get away with it. The purists out there might be thinking, oh, it's too much. You're going to go down that route, and if you're a Challenger fan and you want all things Challenger, you're probably going to want to do this one with all the other bits that go with it as well. For me, Good luck to you guys, because I tip my hat for the guys who put this together, because that looks like a lot of work indeed. Anyway, there we go. That is the Challenger 2 1/35 scale by Ryfield Models.